March 1898, the British Empire, the most powerful force on Earth, was brought to its knees by two killers. No guns, no army. Just two 9-foot-long male lions with zero fear and a taste for human flesh. For 9 months, these cats waged psychological warfare against thousands of railway workers in Kenya. They hunted in coordination. They bypassed livestock and went straight for humans. And they killed so efficiently that an entire empire-building project ground to a complete halt. This isn't folklore. This is documented history. I'm Patrick, and today, we're investigating the deadliest lion attack in recorded history, the tactics, the biology, and the brutal truth behind 135 human deaths. Let's set the stage. The Tsavo River in southeastern Kenya, brutal heat, dense thorn scrub, and in 1898, crawling with workers building the Uganda-Kenya Railway. Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson was the British engineer in charge. He had over 3,000 workers, mostly Indian laborers, living in massive tent camps along the riverbank. The goal? Build a railway bridge across the Tsavo to connect British territories. These camps were sprawling. Hundreds of white canvas tents lined up in rows. Livestock, donkeys, goats, kept nearby for food. Cooking fires burning all night. It should have been safe, but it's not. The first attacks, March 1898, workers start disappearing. At first, Patterson thought they'd fled. Working conditions were brutal. 100-degree heat, malaria everywhere. But then they found the blood trails. These weren't random attacks. The lions were bypassing the donkeys and goats, easy meals, and specifically targeting human tents. They'd sniff along the canvas, tear through silently, grab a sleeping man by the throat, and drag him 200 yards into darkness before anyone even woke up. And here's what made it psychological warfare. They'd consume their victims within earshot of the camp. Workers reported hearing the sounds, bones cracking, flesh tearing, while lying terrified in their tents, knowing they could be next. The pattern emerges. Within weeks, the pattern was clear. This wasn't one rogue lion. It was two males working as a coordinated team, and they weren't just hunting. They were conducting military operations. Witnesses reported seeing them scout the camp at dusk. One would circle left, the other right. Guards would spot one lion, fire warning shots, chase it off. Meanwhile, the second lion would breach the opposite side, grab a victim and vanish. They were using distraction tactics, flanking maneuvers. These cats had analyzed the camp's defenses and developed counter strategies. That's not animal instinct, that's intelligence. The failed defenses. By April, the workers were in full panic mode. They built bomas, massive 6-foot-tall fences made from thorn bushes so dense you couldn't see through them. They lit bonfires every 50 feet around the camp perimeter. They posted armed guards. They even started sleeping in groups, thinking safety in numbers would protect them. The lions didn't care. They'd leap the thorn fences like they were hurdles. They'd walk past bonfires without flinching. And the group sleeping strategy, that just gave them more targets in one location. The economic crisis. Here's what people don't realize. This became a crisis of imperial proportions. By June, hundreds of workers had fled. The ones who stayed refused to work after sunset. Construction stopped completely. The British Empire was spending thousands of pounds per day on a railway project that wasn't moving. All because two lions had figured out humans were easier prey than buffalo. Patterson's desperation. Patterson tried everything. He built elaborate cage traps with spring-loaded doors. The lions walked around them. He set up tripwire spear traps. The lions avoided them like they could see the wires. He even tried poisoning the corpses of victims, thinking if the lions got sick, they'd stop. But these cats were so cautious, they wouldn't touch any meat they hadn't killed themselves. For months, Patterson sat in mashans, Wooden platforms built in, trees, waiting with his rifle. The lions would circle, sense the trap, and attack the opposite side of camp instead. They were toying with him. December 9th, the first kill. After 9 months of terror, Patterson's patience finally paid off. December 9th, 1898. He's in his machan, rifle ready. Then he sees it, a massive maneless male approaching in the moonlight. He fires, hits it in the hind leg. The lion roars, a sound Patterson described as bone-chilling, and disappears into darkness. Now here's the insane part. Patterson tracked this wounded lion at sunrise. You don't track wounded lions. That's rule number 1 of hunting dangerous game. Wounded predators are cornered predators, and cornered predators are suicidal levels of dangerous. The charge. Patterson found it hiding in thick brush. He fired again, hitting the shoulder. The lion charged, full sprint at him from 30 yards. Patterson later wrote he could see its eyes, yellow and completely devoid of fear. Final shot at point-blank range. Bullet through the chest. The lion dropped dead 3 feet from where Patterson stood. The camp erupted in celebration. They thought the nightmare was over. It wasn't. That was just the apprentice. December 29th, the true boss. 10 days later, the attacks resumed. The second lion, the larger one, was now hunting solo, and it was even more aggressive. This was the dominant male, the shot caller, the one who'd been teaching the first lion the human hunting techniques. Patterson set his final ambush. December 29th, the lion appeared. He fired, hit it solid. The wounded animal charged his platform, roaring so loud Patterson said the sound physically hurt. He fired again and again. The lion kept coming. 9 bullets, 9 hits, and this thing was still moving. The final hunt. Patterson tracked it at dawn. But this time, the lion was tracking him back. For hours, they played cat and mouse. Except Patterson was the mouse. He'd hear movement behind him, spin around, see nothing, then hear it again. Finally, open ground. Clear shot. Patterson fired his .303 rifle. The lion charged one last time. He fired again. It collapsed 10 feet away. Patterson later wrote this lion absorbed more punishment than any animal he'd ever seen. It was a biological tank. The brutal truth. So were these demon lions like the workers believed? No, the answer's actually tragic. Scientists examined their skulls, now displayed in Chicago's Field Museum. Here's what they found. Biology breakdown. First, starvation. In the 1890s, Europeans introduced cattle to East Africa. Those cattle carried a virus called Rinderpest. It spread to wild animals and killed 95% of buffalo and zebras in the region. The Tsavo lion's natural prey was gone, wiped out by a disease we introduced. They were starving. Second, injury. The first lion's skull showed a broken canine and a massive dental abscess. Basically, a rotting tooth causing constant agony. It physically couldn't take down tough prey like buffalo anymore. Humans? Soft skin, no horns, no hooves, no fight. We were the easiest meal in a landscape where everything else was either dead or too hard to kill. The manless mystery, and those missing manes. Not supernatural, just local adaptation. Tsavo is brutally hot, and that dense thorn scrub would tear a mane to shreds. Manaless males are actually common in that region. Final analysis. Here's the lesson. These weren't monsters. They were specialists backed into a corner by starvation and injury. They adapted to survive, and that adaptation required 135 human deaths. The railway got built. The bridge still stands today, but it's a monument to what happens when you corner apex predators in their own arena. In nature, there's only one rule: adapt or die. The Tsavo Man-Eaters adapted. The question is, could we? What terrifies you more, their intelligence or their desperation? Drop your answer in the comments and hit subscribe, because next week we're analyzing the champawat, tigress, 436 confirmed kills by a single animal. I'm Patrick. This is Patrick's Arena, where survival is the only rule.